Well, are the guys ready to get back going this
Absolutely,
weekend?
absolutely. We finally all got back together as a group yesterday. We had some trouble getting in with the weather on Monday, I believe it was, and we had our whole group back yesterday and had a couple of good practices here. And you can tell they're refreshed and revitalized mentally and physically.
If you were to grade your squad for the first half of the
B.
season, what would you give them
B.
and why?
I already had that question earlier by Tim Hennessy, and yesterday, by the way, and I would consciously probably give it a B, B minus, somewhere in that area. Obviously, there's room for improvement in a bunch of different areas, consistency being one. But obviously, coming off and having a very good start, going through some injuries, going through some situations with a new group, I would say probably a B minus, and room to get better in 5-on-5 play, maybe scoring a few more goals, and then special teams. I think defensively, we haven't given a whole lot up, and I would say probably creating a little bit more offense, and special teams would be areas of trying to improve on.
Did you have any trouble getting all the guys back for practice this week with the storm?
100% we did. We tried, we set that up, Brad, a few months ago when we first came into the season so guys could plan, travel, whether it's driving or flying, when they could leave, when they could come back. And we told our guys we wanted a 4 o'clock practice on the 26th. And sure enough, the blizzard came through, and I think it got delayed a little bit to the point where they shut down the interstate going north. We had probably half of our team here. God made it through for practice at that 4 o'clock time slot. And then yesterday, we went at 2 o'clock. We had our full team yesterday and today, and we had 2 pretty good practices.
How's Brock's recovery?
Good. He's progressing nicely here. I think it's 2 weeks ago today he had a surgery. We probably think he needs another week here. And then from there, it's up in the air, as far as, when he's ready to go. I think the conditioning side would be something we need to work on right away when he gets back. He's going to get back on Sunday here. He's going through some rehab with his physio, with his injury, and we'll get him back, and we'll get him ready to go here as soon as we can.
Last game you didn't have Joseph Besser. The lineup Saturday looked similar to that one.
Yeah, we've shuffled a couple things around as far as line-wise and deep pairing-wise, but basically it's a group that we got. We have, in our group right now, we have 12 forwards, 8 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders. And, you're limited with extra people or players around here, but again, we gotta make sure we get through one game here. It's our last non-conference game, a very important game, and we want to make sure that it's a one-game weekend, and we know that we pour everything into this weekend, the one game.
How do you shut Union down?
Well, they're a high-flying offensive team, and they're led by Vecchione, Fu, and they're going to get Vidmar back this weekend too. He was out for the last 3 games, so that was a line together that scored, and I know I think Sapinski was on that line when Vidmar was out and did a pretty good job. So I think it's trying to take time and space away from that line. But in saying that, they've got a team reminiscent of the championship team when they won it a few years ago. That they've got experience and they've got depth in their whole forward D group with good goaltending too. So they're an experienced group that scores by committee, but obviously they have that top line.
Too early to talk about pairwise with this game?
No, it's not too early. No. We always look at it. We watch it. We monitor it. We know that this weekend against Union is a huge game. I think we're 9th, and are they 10th? They're 8th. Yeah. So there's 2 teams that are very close together in the pairwise, and it's a big deal. This is our last non-conference game, and we want to make sure that we try to end in a positive note that way in the non-conference.
And you get road bonus potential here with the non-conference road game too.
Yeah.
And it makes it even bigger.
It's even bigger, even better. I know a lot of times, we play a majority or a lot of our games at home, the non-conference games, and the ones that we're on the road are big. And I go back to that series in St. Cloud when we won 2 games there. That was huge. Winning 2 games there. Road games are key on pairwise rankings.
How hard is it to get a series with an ECAC team like Union?
You know what? The biggest thing is there's not a lot of familiarity. That can be good too sometimes. As far as when we play the traditional NCHC rivals, you know exactly what they are and how they play and what they do. And sometimes, you just go play. You obviously we'll pre-scout them on tendencies and different things like that. But sometimes it's nice in regard that you're playing somebody new and and it's likewise them coming back at us too. So it's something that I don't think we've been out there to Union as a team, and it'll be experience for us playing in that venue out in that city, and at a time where they're pretty hot. I think they've lost 3 games all year, and they're on a roll. So again, it's I think it'll get us playing our best game, knowing that we'll have to play our best game against them.
Considering you guys only had a chance to play 1 game this weekend with the schedule limits, was it tough to set this series up, or this weekend up, being you could only play 1 game?
Yeah, you mean when we first planned this a long time ago? Yeah, you know what? I think we planned this 2 or 3 years ago. As far as this particular weekend, the one thing that we always try to factor in mind that we usually have players that have an opportunity to play World Junior. And, sometimes we'll schedule the US 18s to come in, which is an exhibition game, or we'll try to do some non-conference games in there. But, I think especially, you can't wish for anything, but I think at this time it's nice that it's just 1 game, knowing that we do have some injuries and we have some guys away from our team. And it's a chance for us to get back in it with the focus of just being 1 game.
Is Hayden skating yet?
Hayden's in. Yep. He's playing, he's skating, he'll be in the lineup. Yep. He's fully healthy. He's good to go.
Is there no possibility that Brock could make the Omaha series?
There is a possibility. I can't guarantee it. I think it's something that we'll have to monitor when he finally starts, getting back going again here. And we foresee that here probably towards the end of this weekend or very beginning of next week here. And he's a gamer. He's a guy that obviously. His mindset is wanting to play the games, and it won't be a problem that way. It's just a matter of where he is at health-wise with his situation and conditioning.
What do you think the Joe school against Russia?
Yeah, it was pretty high end. It's stuff that we see every day in practice, and the thing that we love about it is he does that stuff here on a daily basis, whether that's in practice or in games. And I think the term that they had for him on TSN was that he's the motor. He has a motor, and you can see that because he's the guy that infuses energy at the start of every game, whether he's contributing offensively in the goals or he's playing in the offensive zone. So that's a pretty high compliment to have, is when you have a motor like he has.
Come out of the juniors like that. Do you think that'll spark him a little bit offensively here for scoring goals a little bit?
Yeah, I think so, but I think he's been doing a really good job. For what he's done as a freshman coming in here in the role that he has, he's been put into pretty high role in power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, and I think he's done a really good job. And all I know is you always are apprehensive a little bit when you're losing your good players to World Junior, but all I know is when you give your best players an opportunity to play international competition and they have success, you're getting back a better player. Even though they're a little bit tired, you're getting back a better player because they're playing on a high stage there, and against high competition, and the experience you can't replace.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.